Welcome back. This is Michael Williams, and in this video we're going to be looking at the second step to how you can free yourself to say what you want to say when you want to say it. In the first video, if you haven't seen it already, we talked about the first step, right? And the first step was what? Do you remember what it was? It was to reset your expectations, to reset your expectations. So let's just do a quick review. First step is to reset your expectations. This is so important because if you're expecting to just do away with something, to get rid of it, to stop it, to overcome it, to treat it, then you're going to be chasing something that's going to frustrate you. It's going to keep coming back to revisit you. You're going to get very frustrated. You may lose hope. You may say, well, I'm just stuck with this, right? But if you reset your expectations and you approach this the right way, and the right way is to replace it, that is, replace your current way of thinking, right? Your current mindset, and to replace your current way of speaking. You reset your expectations to that. Let's look at then the second step. The second step is to immerse yourself in the process. So, what do we mean by that? When you immerse yourself in something, think about jumping into a pool, jumping into the ocean or some water. You're completely immersed, right? You're completely covered by, you're completely in whatever it is that you've immersed yourself in. So when you immerse yourself in this process, what you're actually doing is every day, all day, you are thinking about your new way of speaking. You're thinking about your new way of thinking. Every day, all day. Not just sometimes. This has to be your number one priority. Well, someone says, well, I don't have time for that. I have kids, I have a job, I have to work, take care of family. You always have time. As long as you have your brain with you, you have time. And you do always have your brain with you, right? So you have time as you're walking from one office to another, as you're walking from one room to another, as you're traveling, as you're in the bathroom. Everyone goes to the bathroom. You have time to think about, to go over your affirmations, to think about your new way of speaking, to practice your new way of speaking. You completely immerse yourself in this. And there's three things that I want you to know about this immersion process. Three things. The first one is that you learn, you practice, and you use under pressure. You learn, you practice, and you use under pressure. So let's make this a little bigger. You learn, you practice, and use under pressure. What do we mean by that? What we mean is that you have to learn a new mindset, a new way of thinking, right? And when we talk about learning a new way of thinking, we're talking about not anticipating, not going ahead and scanning ahead and saying, well, you know what, I'm going to get stuck on that. Or not going into a situation, you know what, I know I'm going to get stuck. Right? So we learn a new pattern of thinking. We train ourselves to think differently. You can do this, right? We also learn a new way of speaking. How do we do this? Well, I use modeling, right? I use modeling, as well as teaching you some very specific skills that excellent speakers use when they're communicating, right? Some skills. And you can learn this, right? So learning to speak well is the equivalent of learning a new language and becoming completely fluent in that language. Can you learn a second language? Many of you already speak more than one language. One of the ways you can learn a new language and become completely fluent is to immerse yourself in the process. That is, to read it, write it, to listen to it, to speak it, to be immersed in that other language all the time. If you do that, what will eventually begin to happen is you'll begin to think in that language. You won't have to think and translate. You'll be able to speak in that language without thinking. You reach a level of what we call automaticity. Becomes natural, becomes second nature. So you learn a new way of thinking, you learn a new way of speaking. Then you practice it. You're learning it, you learn, okay, this is what I need to do. Then you practice it. Right? You have to spend time repeating it and practicing it. Now, you got to practice it every day, all day, whenever you get a chance. Now, I'm not saying you leave your job, you don't do it. No, you squeeze it in. Whenever you have to talk, remind yourself to practice. Okay, let me just use this new way of speaking. Let me remind myself not to think this, but to think this. You learn it, you practice it. Then, watch this. What's the third one? You use it under pressure. You can go away to a training for 3 weeks or for 12 days or whatever, but when you come back to your environment where you have your individual specific stressors, what happens is people begin to relapse, right? So you have to use what you're learning and practicing where? Under pressure. So if making phone calls has been an issue for you, then once you learn this new way of thinking and speaking, what do you need to do? Make phone calls, right? Yes, it's going to be awkward. Just like if you learn a new language and you go out and you try to use it to order something, you're going to be frustrated, you're going to forget, you're not going to be able to say it, it's going to not going to be smooth. But guess what? If you keep doing it, you're going to be able to order the food. Think of a baby. If a baby just says, you know what, I'm trying to walk, but I'm just so tired, I'm getting tired of falling down, I'm just going to just stop trying to learn how to walk. Then we all be crawling around, right? Babies don't do that. They keep falling until they get their balance and they learn how to walk. Same thing with speaking. The same thing with speaking well, with speaking smoothly, confidently, clearly, in an engaging manner, with authority. You can do it. You just have to stick with it, right? Till it becomes natural. So you learn it, you practice it, but then you got to use it under pressure. And this is where many people fall down. This is where they say, oh, you know, I don't feel like doing it. It's just so tiring, right? Well, it's tiring. I mean, don't you get tired having to switch words, having to, you know, do all this acrobatics and all these kinds of things to get out what you want to say, or just not being able to get out? That's tiring, isn't it? Why? Because your brain is using more energy than what it wants to, than what it needs to do something that should be natural and automatic, which is speaking. That's the reason why. So by learning this new way, yes, it's going to be tiring at first until it becomes natural and automatic. And it will. But you have to immerse yourself. You have to immerse yourself. So let's take a look once again at the things that you need to do. 3 things: learn, practice, and then use it under pressure. So if introducing yourself, saying your name is an issue, you learn a new way, then you get out there and you create opportunities to introduce yourself. If making presentations is an issue, then you get out there and you make presentations, right? You got to get out and use under pressure what you're learning. So what I want to do now is to show you a tool that you can use to do exactly this. And I want to just go back and remind you that when I say immerse, I mean do it every day, all day. Every day, all day, whenever you get a chance. Whenever you get a chance, you immerse yourself in this learning, practicing, and using under pressure process. So let me show you a tool that you can use to do this. And this tool really comes from people like you, people that I work with, my clients. And essentially, it's a web page that's password protected, that when you access it, it has everything there that you need. It has the Pro 90D 3.0 focus. It has several other audio programs and video that are in playlist format that you can use to just immerse yourself in the information and in the process every day. So let's take a look at it. Let's just kind of walk through it a little bit. Let me just get to that screen here. So first thing you're going to find when you get to this tool is there's not actually going to be 2 boxes there. There'll be just one. And when you open that box up, go down a little bit, it's going to have a couple of categories. One of the categories is says, here's what you watch and listen to. So I'm going to be asking you to watch or listen to one module every day. A lot of times you're not going to have time to watch it, so I have it in an audio format. I'll show you that in just a minute. It's in a playlist format. You just click it and listen to one per day. There are some other audios that I want you to listen to multiple times a day. One's my 34-minute training, and one comes from my passive learning. Don't just listen to it once. I want you to listen to it multiple times a day. Why? Because it'll be changing your mindset. It'll be giving you confidence. And when it does that, guess what? You're going to remind yourself, you're going to tell yourself your self-talk, which is critically important. You're going to say, hey, I can take my time. I don't have to rush. I don't have to worry about what other people might be thinking or saying about me. I can say what I want to say. I'm a genius at speaking. I love saying my name. You'll tell yourself those things because you'll be hearing it every day multiple times. You'll remind yourself to speak that way. You'll remind yourself to think that way. Does that make sense? That's why you have to immerse yourself. That's one reason. And here I also say, affirm every day, all day. So just whenever you get a chance, not just in the morning, not just in the evening, but all day long when you're walking. When you get a chance to stop doing whatever you're doing, just do an affirmation or two. When you're in the bathroom, do an affirmation or two. When you're driving, when you're walking, when you're riding the public transportation, do a couple of affirmations. Every day, all day. Next thing is practicing of modeling. And I won't go into depth, but modeling is a form of, in fact, it is social learning. What you're doing is you're making a mental impression of how someone else speaks, right, their rhythm, and even their confidence level. You're making a mental impression of that. And you're simply pretending to be that person. You're asking yourself, how would this person speak? How would they act in this situation? And you're focusing your mind on that, which means you have to study them. When you focus your mind on how they would speak and how they would act, guess what you're going to get? Guess what you're going to move towards? So you want to do that as opposed to focusing on, well, I hope I don't get stuck. I don't want to get stuck. I want to make sure I don't mess up. I wonder what they're thinking about me. You don't want to focus on that. You want to focus on the kind of person, the kind of speaker you want to become. All of that's right here in this tool, okay? So let's go back a little bit. If you have questions, if you need help, there's a little box that's going to be down in the bottom right-hand corner. You click it, you ask me a question. I'll get to it as quickly as I can. So let's keep going. Let's take a look at the actual audio that you're going to have available. You're going to have all the modules, right, in audio format, in playlist format. Just click them and you listen. And what this does is it puts everything in one place so that you can listen to it every day, multiple times a day. I'm only asking you to listen to one module per day. In this next section here, it says listen to these multiple times. You only have to listen to the first track once. After that, there are 2 other tracks. I want you to listen to those multiple times a day, for the reason that I mentioned earlier. And then finally, not finally, but next to finally, I have here my passive learning and imprint impress. These are affirmational audios. And what you do with that is you go through those as you like. Right? You can go through them every day, you can go through them a few times a week. But run through them, see which ones you like, so that you know, okay, I have a presentation coming up, or, you know, I'm just struggling today with my speech. Let me listen to this affirmational audio. It's all right there, where? In one place. In one place. We also have here, just step 1 of the 21 steps, which is what I ask people to use for modeling. Now, you can choose another model, so if you're not working with me in a coaching relationship, you can choose anybody that you want. Don't choose someone that speaks really, really fast, because it's probably not going to help you. You want to choose someone that has a smooth, maybe a slightly slower rhythm way style of speaking. But here, I provide you with audio for those of you that want to model me, and you can model this video. You'll need to look at track number 2 in one of the other audio programs there where we talk about what modeling is and how you do it, okay? Because I can't explain that in this video. The next thing that you're going to find are the Pro 90D 3.0 Focus videos that you can watch too. So some people like watching the videos. Those are there as well for you. Right? So essentially everything is right there in one place. And then finally, a little series that I did not too long ago, how to conquer your fear of speaking in public, conquer your fear of public speaking, how to captivate your audience with confidence. That whole series is there in video, and you can watch it, and I encourage you to watch it. Okay? So what you have here is all of my best stuff, all of my latest stuff in one place, and all you have to do is just go through it each and every day. Immerse your mind in this information. Spend time practicing every day. And equally, if not more importantly, spend time using what you learn under pressure every single day. So, what I want you to do is check out the details on this immersion tool. I've got some special deals going on for you that you can take advantage of. I promise you, just think back about how you learn stuff, how you learn a language, how you learn a skill. This absolutely has to work if you do it. It's not a matter of, I'm not sure if this will work for me. It will work for you. If you can learn a new language and you can become fluent at it, if you can learn a skill, then it'll work for you. It's just a matter of, will you work it? Will you immerse yourself long enough until your brain makes whatever it is that you're learning and practicing and using automatic? Or will you not? If you don't, then it won't work for you, right? Or it may work a little bit. Well, yeah, I tried your programs before, Michael, and after a couple of months, whatever, I relapsed. Did you immerse yourself every day? Did you continue to immerse yourself until it became automatic? There's no time limit on this. You do it until it becomes automatic. However long that takes for you, trust me, it will become automatic. Your brain simply doesn't want to be thinking about speaking, right? So if you immerse yourself, you think about it, you do it every day, then you'll get to a place where you're no longer thinking about speaking and you're just doing what I'm doing now. I'm not thinking about the words that I'm saying. I'm really not thinking about what I want to say. I have an intention. I have ideas that I want to communicate with you, and I'm allowing my brain to do what it does best and to communicate that to you as smoothly as possible. You can do this too. I train people to do it, and I see them doing it. It is possible for you. So, thank you very much for taking the time to check out this video series. Do take advantage of this immersion tool. You can get this immersion tool in the membership, right, as a member, and you will also get the immersion tool if you become a coaching client. So if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, which is the most efficient and effective way, right, to get from where you are now to where you want to be, that is free to say what you want to say when you want to say it. It's the most efficient, the most effective, and it has the highest level of commitment, both of time and money. What I find is the people that invest the most time and invest the most money do the best the fastest, right? But what if you're in a place where you just can't? Then what you want to do is join the membership. And I have a couple of options for you. One is where you pay one time and you get everything, you don't have to pay again. Another is a monthly plan, right? So figure out which option is best for you. Maybe you're not ready for the coaching and you want to start with the membership and then move up to the coaching. Or maybe you already know that you want the coaching, so you'll need to set up an interview. Check out the links. Jump into this now. Isn't it time that you stop waiting around, you stop wondering, okay, does this guy know what he's talking about? Does this really work? If you can learn, this is going to work. Because that's all it is, right? It's not a matter of me. It's a matter of you and how much effort you put into this. So think about that. If you've been holding yourself back, if you've been feeling like your speech has been holding your career back, your relationships, if people haven't been taking you seriously, if you've been tired and having a headache every day because you can't say what you want to say, now's the time to move forward. I've got the system. I have the tools. All you have to do is take advantage of it. Once again, thank you very much. This is Michael Williams. I look forward to seeing you in the membership or as one of my coaching clients. I'll see you soon.